Now, I want to go into your acronym. I know you love acronyms because you're a nerd. I'm a nerd too. I love acronyms. That was like so helpful in studying and getting through school. And your acronym, do you want to tell us what it is?
Sure. So I based the book around INTENT, intent. I is for incubate, which is finding a practice, quiet time to connect, and really ask yourself those questions. Who
Yeah, we're
am I?
going to go into each one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so no, so it goes incubate, notice, trust, express, nurture, and take action,
Yep.
right? Okay, so the first one you said was incubate. So this is the first step for us in this golden nugget shit shoveling process with Malika. And so can you tell us what incubate means and the importance of it?
Yeah, so I chose the word incubate because it really recognizes that often we don't know what we want. So even when we plant a seed, as I said before, we don't know what it's going to grow into. We kind of plant it and then see what happens. We take care of it. Or even when we get pregnant and have a baby, it takes time. So incubation is really that step of kind of being comfortable with the discomfort, finding a practice that allows you to honestly and authentically be present with yourself and kind of explore who am I.
And you say practice, you mean meditation.
So for me, it's meditation. It not may not be meditation for
What
everyone.
would an example be of something else that someone else might adopt
Sure,
as
I
a
think
practice?
some people may have a yoga practice, go for hikes. Um,
Walk
you
the
know,
dog at 5 p.m. and listen to a podcast.
Well, actually, I think walk the dog, but would recommend do not listen to
Oh,
a
do
podcast.
not listen.
I would also recommend that if you're doing yoga or another practice, actually to find quiet time. I'm a big believer
Interesting.
in silence.
Yeah, I think it's hard for us to sit in that silence for sure. Because all these thoughts start racing around and you're like, oh my God, what's happening
And
here?
that's the purpose, actually, is to be uncomfortable,
I know.
to let the thoughts race and kind of go beyond that.
Oh my gosh. Now, in terms of the next step is notice. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so noticing is noticing the messages that your body is sending you, your internal dialogue. I talked earlier about
Mm-hmm.
criticizing, condemning, complaining, but also noticing the messages that the universe may be sending you. So, you know, you think of someone and they just happen to call the next day, or you run into someone in an elevator who may be the key to something that you've been
So
exploring.
it's like synchronicity.
It's synchronicity, but it's also paying attention to the body. So, I just talked about like kind of how I'd gone down this path of not taking care of my body. And, sometimes we just need to kind of really listen to our body to manifest change in our life. And then, most importantly, I think, is also the internal and external dialogue, how we use our words and our thoughts.
And you talk about the noticing project. Can you tell us about that?
So, what was the
You,
noticing
yeah,
project that
you
we
you
had?
called something in your book called the noticing project, where you would take the time to notice things during your day that you wouldn't normally take notice of.
Absolutely. So thank you for reminding me. So what I like to do is when I set that micro intent in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
so say today it's connecting with someone I love, then I try to notice all of the hints that come up. So it may be like in my email, a new name pops up, and that may be the person that I call.
Mm-hmm.
Or like just I'm cleaning my house and I find something that was a gift from someone who I haven't kind of connected with in a long time. So I will call them. So it's kind of like noticing in your day, kind of the universe keeps kind of
And the
popping.
little things, these kind of little things that are messages to us, kind of
Yes.
like the bling bling intuitive little symbols. I totally get it. Now, in terms of gratitude, you talk about, obviously, we've talked about the importance of gratitude already, but one thing in the book that you do reference is this notion of me to we.
Mhm.
Why
So
is that important?
So I think when, and again, all the research shows that when we are um, going beyond just a kind of our personal, it actually goes into trust, the next in the acronym.
Mm-hmm.
When we ask, what do I want? Often, things will come up and it's linked to the mom conflict often is, do I want to be the successful businesswoman? Do I want to be out there? Do I want to be famous? Do I want to, get all these achievement milestones versus I just want to be with my kids, and we often will say I just want to be with my kids, like it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So trust is letting go of the judgment, trusting that when you ask yourself questions, that you're being honest about the answers. And often, what we find is that when we transition from the me to the we, which may be the we in our family unit, or the we in our community, or the we as in serving for the world, that often we're much more inspired, we're much happier, and we feel more of purpose.
And I also think you reference, and we've also talked about already today, is this idea of like intuition.
Mhm.
And I know there's like a little quote that says like intuition knows her shit. And we have to stop and we have to listen to ourselves and what feels good to us and what doesn't feel good to us. And I think the pandemic has really fast forwarded that for us, or, exaggerated it. So we kind of are like, oh my God, I'm going to say no to more things because it feels good to take the extra time to be at home or to be with my kids. Are there specific strategies that you recommend for getting better at listening to our gut and listening to our intuition?
So I think you just said it, which is listen to your gut. Often your body tells you what you feel you should be doing.
Right.
So, and this is the basics of teaching children.
Excuse me.
Yeah, this is the basics of teaching children. When we're nervous, we feel the butterflies in our stomach.
Yes.
When we're angry, our body, gets more hot.
Hmm.
So for intuition, a lot of it is actually listening to your body and
And I,
also pausing. So another acronym I share in the book is STOP, which is stop, take 3 breaths, observe what's happening in your body, and proceed. Because often, rather than reacting in a fight flight response, if we can respond more intentionally, we make better decisions.
I like that. And I also like in living with intent, you say be your own Buddha. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I need like a bumper sticker that says that. Can you
Yeah.
tell us what you mean by be your own Buddha?
I think no one else can tell you what's right for you. You know what's right for you if
That's
you
what our
really.
teenagers say to us,
Yeah,
right, Malika?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it is really trusting that your body, your soul knows what's right for you.
I love that. And in terms of number 4 in your intent acronym, it's express. What does that mean?
So express means to actually say what you want, take ownership of it, which is something many of us don't do because we're too scared to actually admit what we want.
Like owning your shit.
Yes, and I believe that the process of actually writing it down and ritualizing it is in and of itself a way to take ownership. And then if you're comfortable to start sharing it, it may be sharing it just with the universe by writing it out or saying it, but even sharing it with 1 or 2 people that you love and that you trust, to guide you.
And that also, you talk about how that leads into accountability.
Mhm.
Once you've written it down for yourself and you've told 2 friends that you're going to try to exercise every day, the universe knows, your 2 friends know, and there might be a higher likelihood that you're going to do it because somebody knows that that's what you're trying to do. And they might check in with you and you might have to go, yes, I did do it. I did work out today.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Now, step 6 in your intent acronym is take action, which is so hard. Can you tell us how to start with this? Like, how do we take the small next step?
So I believe that when you know why you are doing something, when you authentically ask yourself, what do I want? So that's why all of the steps lead to take action. Then you can make smart goals to achieve them. That's why the INTEN part leads to the take action. So, and it's really the separation of intentions versus ultimately setting goals.
Mm-hmm.
But when we know why we want to do something, when we've really nurtured it, when we've kind of been honest about it, when we've expressed it, then we're ready to take action.